Hello everyone, and this is the 5th episode of the tutorial. Of the starting tutorial. So, last time I told you about functions. This time I will tell you about returning, and I will also tell you about the touched event. So, if you go in your script, I'm just going to show you what returning is real quick. So, at the end, you can return something. So at the end of the function, you can return any way you want to return. You can just say you returned successfully created part. So basically what happens, you can assign a variable to the function being called. You can do local message equals that. So it'll still call it, but then at the end it'll return this, and that will be what message is. And if we print message, as you can see, if you open up the output, it just runs successfully created part, and that's how many times it creates the part. So that's basically what returning does. And you can use that however you would like. But now I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to show you about the touched event. So if you want to, you can go create a part, and then you press F to go to the part, which is what you can do. And then let's say I want the part to be tall, and like this. And then another thing you can do is you can go to model, and then you can go over here to spawn. You can click spawn, and this is where the player spawns. So I'm just going to set it near there. And then if I go on here, if I click part, and it's when I click here and I search up anchored, I want it to be anchored. So now we have this anchored part. So now we're gonna create a variable of the part. So we do local part equals game.workspace.part. So now we have the part in this variable. We can now edit the part. However, we can do events, which this ties into functions. So, to create an event, you can do part. We're going to do the touched event. Part.touched connect function. So, you should have something that looks like this. Part.touched connect function with the two parentheses there and that one parenthesis like right there. Should look exactly like this, the same capital letters, everything. Then press enter, and then it should create end with another parenthesis there. So now, whenever something touched the part, it'll run this, which this is a function also. So what we can do is we can now put this just slightly in the air, and then when something is touched, we can do print touched. So now instead of running it, we have to actually play. So if we touch the part, it's touched. As you can see, it prints out touched when we touch it. It prints out touched a lot. So, it's calling the event. So now, what we can do is instead, you can do part dot color equals color3 dot new. And then let's say we just want it to be random. You can do we're actually going to do brick color dot equals brick color dot random. So this assigns a random brick color whenever you touch it. So we play, so whenever someone touches it, it assigns a random brick color. So as you can see, if you touch it, it just assigns random colors when you touch it. It's pretty cool. And then let's say you want to change the position. If you do change the zipper color, and our dot position dot x, we're changing the x, we're gonna plus equals, which we're gonna add 5 to the position coordinates. So now, as you can see, we got an error. Which I know what happened. So we have to actually do part.position equals vector 3.new. And we have to do part.position.x plus 5. And part.position.y, then part.position.z. So sometimes there's just some errors like that that make it less convenient for you. But this should work now. As you can see, when you touch it, it moves. It changes the color and then it moves. As you can see, it's basically kind of like you're pushing it, which is pretty cool. It doesn't matter if you're that side though. You can go over here and then you can push it, and then it pushes it really far because you touch it more. So that's basically what happens when you do the touched event. But there is one problem when you do the touched event that I will cover. So let's say if this is not anchored, if we run it, if we play it, then as you can see, when you touch it, let's say if you, instead of adding to the X, you add to the Y. And if we just run it, as you can see here, it repeatedly does it. Because it doesn't matter if it's a player, if it's just anything touches it. This is kind of cool though. It's just, so if anything touches it, then it runs. So when it touches the ground, it puts it like a little bit in the air, and then it changes the color, and since it's not anchored, it just keeps flopping around. So that is something that you can fix. But I will not show you how to fix that just yet, as it is a little bit advanced. Actually, you know what? Sure, I'll show you. You just might not understand it. So you have to do, so you have to get, there's a parameter called hit, which that is whatever touches it, it's that object value. So it would be the base plate. But you can do if hit dot parent colon find first child humanoid, then. So I will show you what that means. So we copy it, put it in there. So now let's say if we play it, as you can see, nothing happens. But then if we touch it, it works. And it still goes up. See? It makes it so only players can do it. But now I'm going to explain to you how this is happening. So the hit is whatever's hitting it, which will be like which will be like the base plate hit it. But then it goes hit the parent, which is the workspace. Then it checks if it can find the child humanoid, which there's no humanoid in there, so it doesn't work. But in a player, I'll show you, when you go in the player, if you open it up, you can see your actual body. So as you can see, it would be like your right foot or right hand. So it goes to the parent, which is you. and it looks for a humanoid, which every single player has a humanoid in their body. So that is how you can detect if a player was touching it, or if an object is in a player character. So that's it for this tutorial on returning and this time shoot event. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.